been together for 18 years. We've been married for 6. Buzz has been with us for most of that time. Buzz is about 15 years old, we think. We adopted him from a shelter in Antioch, California. He's a pretty good dog for the most part. He's bit a couple of people. My mom, a cable guy, a couple dogs. But that's kind of what you get when you adopt a dog from a shelter.
Summer sails up on the sea. Today I'm living slowly.
Stop. So there's really more to the story of how we got Buzz. See, we were living here at this house in San Francisco where our landlord wouldn't let us have a dog, and we had to move to the East Bay because of our new jobs. So our new landlord said, well, if you have a small dog already, that's okay. So we got Buzz before we moved to Hayward.
Number.
Well, I remember when you guys were talking about moving over to Hayward, you guys got Buzz. You know, I love dogs. Charlie and I at the time had boxers, so I remember it's like, oh, look at Buzz. I remember I went to go pet him and he was, It was like, oh, wait a minute. So I remember him showing his teeth. I was like, all right, maybe it's going to take a while for him to warm up to me. You know, he loves Troy. The way he looks at Troy, walk around, is still to this day. Last July, for the 4th of July party, Buzz finally warmed up to me. And I remember I was sitting on the couch and he came and sat next to me and I actually pet him. And that made my day. It's like, it took a while, it took about 10 years, but we got there.
The sirens scream outside. Chaos is king tonight.
I want to talk about Buzz, the dog that you and Troy got when you moved from San Francisco to Hayward, California. So Buzz was quite unique in a way that he loved Troy so much. I remember coming over to you guys' home in Hayward, and if Troy went to the store to pick up anything, Buzz would stay right in the window and look out the window, and he would stand there until his legs literally trembled, but he wouldn't move until he heard Troy's car, the door open, and Troy was back home. I never seen a pet so in love with his owner. We had had lunch, and I wanted to give Buzz a little treat because I wanted to make friends with him, not knowing that you don't give a dog treats if you're not really familiar with him. And after I gave Buzz the treat, I then decided I wanted to pet him on the head, and at that point Buzz just kind of snapped at my finger.
Okay, I'm having some second thoughts here. He looked cute at the shelter, but he just bit my mom.
He always covered himself up with that blanket. It was 100 degrees. Buzz got underneath the blanket and covered up his head. And it was like, I don't want to be bothered with anybody. I just want to be left alone. But then when you decided to get another dog, and you got Chelsea, which is very, very pretty, and Buzz really didn't want Chelsea to be there at first, but then Buzz decided that Chelsea was not going to go away, so he had to accept that Chelsea was there to stay. And then later on, you decided to add another dog to Buzz and Chelsea, and then you went out and got Luther, which is really a character.
The thing I remember the most about Buzz is when I came home from work after you had picked him up. He had just been fixed and he was not happy, and he saw me and he came and sat beside me immediately, and he just took to me really quickly. It was kind of interesting. So we get to Hayward and we weren't even moved in a full day. We ran to Home Depot, and we decided initially that when we weren't at home, Buzz was going to be out in the backyard. And so we put Buzz in the backyard. We went to Home Depot, and when we came back, he had ripped out the patio door screen completely, and you tried to like punish him or get his attention to tell him it's wrong, and he snapped at you, and it made me very uncomfortable. And so that was my first like big moment of realizing we have something that we're really responsible for. And so then when we moved down here, of course I don't like car rides, so that meant that Buzz had to ride down here with you for the 8 hours, and I took a flight down. I felt a little bad, but I didn't want to sit in the car for that long.
I knew him when you still were in the Bay Area, and right after you rescued him. And he was not a real happy puppy at that point, because I think he might have been in some bad situations, and then you guys gave him a very good home. And he didn't really like me so much at first. Now he tolerates me at least. So Mark's mom, who I think is a wonderful lady, I really like her a lot, and she's a great person. Well, he snapped at her and nipped her a little bit. And ever since then, I've been a little bit leery of him, because if you bite the nicest lady in the planet, I ain't got no time for you. Okay. But now that he's older, he's a little bit sweeter and a little more mellow and quieter these days.
I will tell you about these invisible waves. Invisible waves.
As you just said, you know, you had Buzz from Hay Street, and I guess we must have seen him then. He must have been a little pup, but the main contact we've had with Buzz since we've been back here in the Coachella Valley, and we actually babysat for him while you guys were in London or Europe last year. It was last year.
Last year. I remember Buzz and the other two dogs like to crawl under the covers. And actually Buzz crawled under the covers, and he was upset because you guys were gone and refused to get out. So finally I just remember taking the cover off and told him out, and apparently that was an instruction that he remembered. So he got out of the bed and he actually went outside and did his business. So.
I mean, he's always around Troy. I mean, it's like his third leg almost, or fourth or fifth or sixth leg, depending on what you look at it. He's constantly, you know, looking for Troy, and if Troy isn't there, he sort of doesn't panic, but he sort of looks around the house, and then, because I don't think Troy smokes now, but when he did smoke, he'd go outside. Buzz would always want to go outside with him. What I liked about Buzz is that he's the character. You know, we got Luther, who's like the perfect dog. He'd just love you to bits no matter what you did. You know, you could probably starve him for a week and he'd still kind of love you. I think Chelsea's got independence, but Buzz has a character all of his own that is unique.
Yes. Have you guys been able to pet Buzz at all? Or does he...
Yeah. I mean, I was really surprised one time we were over at your house and I was sitting on a sofa like this, that you guys have, and he hopped up next to me and sort of just sat there and let me pet him. I was a little nervous initially, but I think once he feels that you're not a threat to him, I think he's pretty cool.
Yes, I think everybody's a little bit nervous at first.
Yeah, I think because his reputation precedes him that he's an attack dog.
Yeah.
Well, I know that, Troy was saying right off the bat that Buzz is this old man. And I said, but what about Troy? I mean, he's like pretty old too. It's like, so, and that he's not very social apparently.
Right. That's what we were first told.
Yeah.
That you got to be careful. He might bite you, but he's never bit us.
No, and now actually I think he really kind of likes us.
Well, he sniffed at me the last time we were there. I knelt down and did come and sniffed my hand,
And then he
which
went-
I thought was a good sign. Although then he ran off.
Because he went, oh no.
Oh no, it smells like kitty.
It smells like kitty. Yeah. Yeah, I smell kitty.
But he barks still when you guys come over, doesn't he? There's a few people he doesn't bark at now.
Well, no, I don't know. The last few times, not as much. Maybe a little
Well, the
bit.
very last time we slipped in without ringing the doorbell, so that helped because it was for that party.
Did he bark at all?
I think he did a little.
Well, a little. He can't help himself.
And then, of course, it wasn't as loud though this last time. I don't think. There
No,
wasn't as
no,
much
it was,
barking.
there was less. I think because he's old, and that's the best you can do.
He is the only second dog I've had in my life probably that loves me the way that he does. And I didn't expect that because I wasn't there when you picked him out. You just never know what's going to happen. And he has moved with us, and he's persevered through each move, but also recognized that he's getting really old now, and that he is probably within a couple years of the end of his life, and that's very hard for me to deal with.
Can't you see that I'm suffering?
I know this may sound silly, but when I leave this earth, I hope my soul goes to a place where dogs live. I mean, dogs just love you unconditionally. If you had a bad day or whatever, they just forget about it and they just love you. I mean, too bad humans can't be more like that.
To connect.
connaissais une chacun sa passé, je 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 connaissais je connaissais je connaissais je connaissais chacun sa passé.